Hey guys, what's up? This is Shivani from eGadgets for you, and yes, in this video I have the new MacBook Pro with me, and you guessed it right, it's review time for the new MacBook Pro. But before starting, this colorful keyboard, no, it did not come with the MacBook Pro. I'll get into it later on in the video, of course. Before starting the video, I want to make sure that I'll not bore you with all the Geek March, the Cinnabunch markings and figures and stuff like that, because you can check it out in the other channels as well. And yes, it has been long, but now what I will do is that you know that I own an app development and a website development company, and I use this particular machine for running my daily business, and also I'm a part-time blogger, so I use that for editing as well. So this particular video, the review, will actually dwell upon the fact that how this beast of a machine is performing for me and how it boosts up my work on a day-to-day basis. And before doing so, I want to make sure that I will show you that how did I set up my MacBook Pro so that it eases my workflow on a day-to-day basis. So without further ado, let's get started. I do want to keep everything minimalistic, yet at the same time it has to suit my needs of work. For example, I have to put the HD over here, as you can see, and by default it does not comes over there, but you need to go to the Finder, go to Preference and switch on that hard disk. Once you switch it on, this particular thing comes over here. The next thing that I do is that I intend to keep the menu bar over here minimalistic, and yes, with the use of the notch, it has grown on me. And yes, I put the airdrop over here because it helps me to transfer photos and videos from my iPhone. The battery with percentage, that is very absolutely necessary. And apart from that, yes, the Wi-Fi, and that is it, because other things I can use from here as well. The next thing that I want to show you is that you go to System Preferences, and yes, you go to Trackpad over here. This is very important. Tap to click, this is not on by default, and I put tap to click because that is how I prefer to keep things. And yes, the dock is very important over here. I intend to keep it very small so that I can use the maximum screens over here. And yes, only the apps that I use regularly are actually stored over here. And apart from that, if you see, if I go to any Finder over here, you will see that the icon that says create new folder. Yes, this is very important. I actually keep it over here. Just go to customize toolbar and you can find all the icons, all these things over here, and just drag and drop. I just drag and drop it over here, and it helps. The next foremost thing in this particular MacBook Pro is a 120 Hz refresh. I know you cannot see the screen, but if I do like this, it's crazy. It's super crazy. It's super smooth as well. And yes, this does reflects when you are actually browsing to the nets as well. The 120 Hz is absolutely smooth, and once you're getting used to it, even in a laptop, in your iPhone 13 Pro, you cannot get out of it, man. And lastly, the important apps. Yes, since I own an app development and website development company, all the important apps that I need to run my business has been listed over here. This does not comes with any bloatware, so you need to install it on your own, buy some of the paid softwares as well. So that is it. That is how I set up my MacBook Pro and how I intend to use it as well. Let's start with the build quality. For obvious reasons, the build quality is something that you hold and see on any machines or any device whatsoever once you open it from the box itself. And the moment I have actually held it in my hand, opened it from the box, my god, that was some feeling that lasted till now as well. The build quality is simply superb, amazing with the MacBook Pro. It's a metallic body, obviously it's built with aluminum, but the use of aluminum, the wet distribution is absolutely brilliant, I must say. And yes, it weighs 1.6 kg, a little bit on the heavier side, I should say, but then again, that does have a lot of hardware specs to it, which actually adds up to the weight factor, and that does makes it look and feel sturdy enough as well. Now from a display perspective, my god, oh my god, I have used a lot of laptops. I have seen a lot of laptops. I have never seen a laptop as good or perfect display like this particular laptop. The inky blacks, the saturation levels, color production levels, each and everything are so minutely crafted in the display of this particular laptop. I am just awestruck. Viewing 4K contents from the OTT platforms, oof, it just blew my mind. Simply amazing. Seriously, I can never find a display. I have never seen a display as good as this particular laptop's display. That is simply mesmerizing. And yes, the notch, it has grown up on me. I will not talk about the notch at all. It's never an issue for me, and I think for 95-98% of the people that will not be an issue as well. And yes, the 1080p webcam is actually hidden over there in this particular notch. It is a good quality webcam. I have done a lot of official meetings after the purchase of this particular MacBook Pro, and everything went perfectly smooth. It's not the best, but yes, I think it's the best from a laptop perspective. Obviously it's the best. The quality of the camera is not the best, but it's decent enough to get your meetings done. And now guys, I will actually not talk about all the good aspects of this particular MacBook Pro. I'll also talk about the negative aspects, which are maybe a bit of a nitpick for you, but it is a big deal for me. Like for example, when I shut down my machine, the lid is closed. You'll open the lid and the machine turns on without even turning on any switch or something like that, or any buttons. It's absolutely great. Mind you, you are getting your laptop ready in no time at all. But when I have shut down my machine and the lid is open and I try to dust my laptop, I dust it every other alternate day, and sometimes even without pressing any button while dusting also the MacBook turns on, which is absolutely irritating for me, because on a day-to-day basis I want to keep my MacBook Pro clean, and doing so it's a tedious job when every time the machine turns on. It can be a nitpick for me, but yeah, it's a big deal of an issue for me. And obviously the ports are back in MacBook Pro. That should have been the highlight and the USP of this particular MacBook Pro according to me. Anyways, yes, MagSafe is back, and yes, it does have a good magnetic feel to it. It does sticks in very nicely with a very good sound. And while taking out, be safe. You should take it out at a particular angle over there, and that does keep your MagSafe safe as well. And apart from that, there is the SD card reader, which makes a life lot easier for any vloggers whatsoever. But then again, you have to hold the SD card in the two sides and push it gently. Do not rush or fight with it again, because as far as I feel, I think if you push or fickle like that, that may also break along with the MagSafe. So be safe with that. And again, there are three, not one, not two, but 3 Type-C ports available. You can use your dongle, and all these 3 ports are high-speed ports as well. And apart from that, you also get a HDMI port as well to support 2 displays simultaneously. So that is absolutely great. Next, we move on to the most controversial factor that is going around with the M2 MacBook Airs and the MacBook Pros, and that, yes, the SSD situations is not the same with this MacBook Pro. Let me tell you a little scenario. I have actually transferred, when I purchased this particular machine, I have transferred 58 gigs worth of my business files and folders that I keep in my external hard drive and also in my NAS as well. So yeah, I was actually transferring it to this particular MacBook Pro using the external drive, and that did not have a USB Type-A port, and I used a dongle to connect it to it. And yes, the speed that this particular MacBook Pro gave me was quite decent. 58 gigs, that was transferred something around a matter of 45 minutes, I should say. Yes, and mind you, it was used with a dongle and not a direct connection was made. So yeah, from that department you are actually safe, and that is the reason I did not opt for the MacBook Air. Instead, I went for the MacBook Pro. And yes, I do have the 10-core CPU, the 16-core GPU model with 16 gigs of RAM and 1 GB SSD. The reason that I have gone for this particular configuration is that I have future-proofed this particular machine, because I seriously intend to use it for a period of 6 years down the line as well, because this is a damn expensive. Although the buying link, the affiliate link will be in the description. It will help the channel if you buy this if you intend to buy this particular laptop from that particular link as well. And yes, the next biggest aspect of this particular laptop is the keypads. And yes, that was a topic of discussions for the earlier MacBook Pros as well, but from 2019-20 onwards, they have actually switched to this particular keyboard, which is absolutely amazing. Because if you see the typing experience in this particular laptop, when I do an intensive typing in terms of chat, preparing agreement papers, printing invoices, stuff like that, that does involve only typing over there. This particular keyboard is spacious enough, the keys are big enough, and the backlit light is very good to work in any environment. And yes, it does give a decent input, I should say, from the keyboard perspective as well. And since I've talked about the keyboard, I have to talk about the trackpad. There are a lot of gestures, as you know, with the MacBook Pro. You can do, in fact, with the MacBook Air as well, there are a lot of hand gestures, and each and everything is quite enabled, work perfectly with this particular laptop. And now there are certain things, like for example, the 4K contents you will find in all the OTT platforms, most preferably the Netflix, Amazon Prime Videos, and the Hotstars. Yes, I have watched a lot of movies, a lot of series extensively in this particular laptop as well, in the night times as well, in various lighting conditions as well. And every time this laptop is actually gives you a spellbound immersive movie experience as well. The speakers, because watching the movies, listening to songs, the most important aspect is the speakers. And the speakers, oh my god, those have real depth, good bass, and yes, it's not loud as a 16-inch, because I have tried the 16-inch in the Apple store as well. Yes, it was louder than the 14-inch, but the 14-inch is decently loud. Yes, I can do a net peak over here. It's not the loudest, I must say, even like where, for example, when the AC is not turned on and the fan is at full speed, it's a warm day, the windows are open and you want to watch a movie, maybe you will not get that immersive feeling over there, but the depth, the bass of the sound, that is really amazing. How can you fit such wonderful speakers in this small laptop? Is absolutely genius from Apple. Now the next big thing that I have to talk about here is the Apple ecosystem. I use an Apple Watch, I have an iPhone 13 Pro, and I use this MacBook Pro. The important thing to note over here is that every time I intend to unlock my MacBook Pro and when I'm wearing my Apple Watch, I don't have to give the passcode or don't have to do the put my fingers on the Touch ID over here. I can actually double click on this Apple Watch and it unlocks the MacBook Pro for me. That is a sweet deal. The ecosystem does not end over there only. Now suppose when I get a call in my iPhone and my iPhone is not with me, I also get that notifications pop up over here and I can answer the call in my MacBook Pro as well. There are a lot of other Apple ecosystem works that can actually make your life a lot easier if you have all these particular Apple products. I will make a dedicated video for that as well, so stay subscribed for that as well. But let me tell you, the Apple ecosystem works flawlessly with the MacBook Pro, Apple Watch, and the iPhones. Now let's talk about the battery, because that is a quite advertised feature of the MacBook Pros as well. Now it is like it may give you a backup of 14 hours, 15 hours, 16 hours, up to 17 hours as well. But let me be very frank with you, the first time I have set up this particular machine, installed the Mac OS and also installed all my softwares and transferred the 58 gigs of files and done stuff like that, which took me something around 8 to 9 hours, I guess. And yes, 8 to 9 hours I got a screen on time on the first charge itself of up to 100% in this particular laptop. And regularly what now I do is that I charge it to 100% and then I use it on the battery, even though I'm at in my office or in my home also, and I don't work outside with this MacBook Pro. But yes, this particular laptop does give me a decent amount of battery withhold capacity, I should say. It comes with a 96 watt charger. Since I've opted for a higher model, so I got the 96 watt charger straight out of the box without paying extra for that, and that is super fast, super crazy, man. One time I have charged it from 20% to 100% and it actually took something around 35 to 40 minutes at the most, I should say. Let's talk about performance. And with performance, what better way to start with editing? Yes, I was editing one of the videos of DaVinci Resolve, which is a 11-minute 20-second video over here. And yes, I have used a lot of layers in that, a lot of sound, a lot of transitions is also over there. And the 4K video, I have rendered it using DaVinci Resolve, which I have downloaded from the App Store itself, the default app. And yes, it took 4 minutes 20 seconds to render that 11-minute 20 seconds 4K video. It was praiseworthy for me. Yes, I am not that high-end gamer. I am not a high-end vlogger. I don't edit 8K videos regularly in my machine, but yes, I do edit videos every week or so, because I sometimes edit my videos or the videos of my wife channel, the cooking channel, Cook with Shonali as well. And I was editing this in this particular machine, and mind you, the performance is absolutely amazing. Even with a lot of transitions that I have given actually over there, there was no lagging even when I was going through the frames as well. It's absolutely stupendous, and I have never seen a powerful machine till date like this particular machine at all. But I should say over here that if you're not into 8K editing regularly, or even for so that matter 4K editing regularly, I highly doubt there are certain a Windows laptop that can get your job done at a much lower price than this. But then again, the other aspects of this particular MacBook Pro is just mesmerizing. Even the ease with which you can do multitasking, you can do a lot of works, is absolutely amazing in this particular MacBook Pro. No complaints whatsoever from a performance perspective, because I also dual with codings. I do dual with Xcodes over here as well in this particular MacBook Pro. I dual with the website development codings as well, app development codings as well, and game development, Unity 3D platform development codings as well in this particular laptop. And every time, each and every performance that I throw in this particular laptop in this quite small span of time, it has withheld and has given me that perfect punch that is actually mind-blowing, I should say. And I think I have covered most of the scenarios, most of the work that I do with my MacBook Pro, and how each and every work, each and every scenario is held up in this particular MacBook Pro. No, it's not a fingerprint magnet as well. I should include that point as well. And yes, this particular cover for the keyboard, I intend to keep it safe. I am you can say I always use all my devices like this. I use the maximum protections available for all my devices because I intend to use them for a huge amount of time, and I intend to keep them safe, clean as well, so that whenever I switch on to the next model, I exchange that particular product and I get a good resale value as well due to this practice of mine. So yes, I have used this particular cover in my particular laptop as well for the keyboard as well, and also I've used a Spigen screen protector. It does not hinder any part of the display, any part of the screen, even while using it outside in bright sunshine as well. I have checked it numerous amounts of times. It's absolutely amazing. Spigen has not paid me, not sponsored this particular video, not this particular keyboard cover as well. But yeah, these are good. I should mention. And now coming to this particular aspect, this particular laptop, without the discount and without the exchange bonus, if I say, it costs something around 2,25,000 rupees, but I got a good deal of discount. I got a good deal of exchange from my old laptop. I got in-store discounts also from the Apple Store, and after those particular discounts and the exchange bonuses as well, they have actually offered me a Bajaj Finance scheme in which I have to do a no cost EMI at not a penny more extra cost, and I will do that. I will pay that particular EMI for 24 months as well. And yes, now from my perspective, I must say that this particular machine is a beast for me. I intend to use this for a period of 5 to 6 years. I seriously hope that this will stay as fresh, as good with my usages over here for a period of 5 to 6 years, of course. And over the course of the time, if and ever I face any issues whatsoever, I will make videos on that as well. So it gives you a long-term overview from that perspective as well, because mind you, these are very costly machines. It's not for everyone, only and only if you absolutely need it, because I actually needed it for some of my projects that are currently running. I needed this particular MacBook Pro, and yes, I had to get this particular one, or else my Asus laptop, which you can see in the background over there, it was perfectly fine. It's a very high-end specs laptop as well, the Asus Zephyrus G14 laptop over there. It was perfectly good, but I need it for certain projects that are currently running with my company, which I cannot disclose much, of course, for obvious reasons. And yes, this particular machine, no regrets till now whatsoever, except for the pricing. Those are damn costly, man. And if you can break it, if you get a good deal, if you can break it into sweet no cost EMI and intend to use it for a period of 5 to 6 years, I should say you go for it. You will never regret it. But if you're a gamer, never go for a MacBook Pro. That's my honest review. Whatever hack or whatever possible way you can game with this particular device, these machines are not intended for gaming. That's my opinion at the end of the day. You can have yours, but I will never suggest a gamer to buy a MacBook. Anyways. So I guess this covers all aspects. If you have any queries or questions, just jot them down in the comment section below. I'll be happy to answer all of your queries. Hope this video was helpful. If you find it helpful, please like this video, share with your friends and families, turn on that notification bell, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I hope that will be it for this particular video. Bye for now.